For our next match of the evening,
such a strong position.
Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 86 kilograms, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Adelaide, 10th Planet Adelaide, Luke Marko! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 89.4 kilograms, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, Kotobuki Jiu-Jitsu, Sousuke Oshima!
From Japan. Seen around ADCC trials, seen around the international circuit, and back for his second time on Battlegrounds.
With the bendy bones, hey?
With the bendy bones. I hope I never see a leg break on stage while I'm commentating.
I don't think I'd be able to keep myself together.
Yeah, I've probably been shocked for a bit too. But this kid is so energetic, and he brings a very interesting attribute to the table by being so flexible.
I have to say, there's something about him that kind of reminds me of Jack Catterbutt that we saw earlier. There's something really similar about their demeanor and their style, their body. I don't know, there's something that seems very similar, right. And I'm really interested to see how this match plays out because, yeah.
His leg dexterity actually reminds me a lot of Kaya's. With that outward rotation, except his ankles are also very, very flexible. It seems like he's unlimited plantar flexion. And look, straight to the seated guard with the strong grips. Now, Luke Marko is very, very good from this position.
I think this is actually the first match we've seen with such a quick, a seated guard pull. You know, we've seen some guard pulls, but this is the first one we've actually seen that's been proper seated guard straight away. He's obviously very comfortable here.
Yeah, I've strategized some of my guys to fight Luke actually, and he's one of the most. He's one of the most composed athletes that we've come across. Very, very strong individual, it looks like as well, but he's respecting the actual attacks from Sousuke here, so he knows when to bail, he knows when to attack. Sousuke now looking to possibly backstep as he gets either underhooks or pinning Luke on his back, but he won't be able to while Luke's sitting up, or at least somewhat seated. From speaking to a friend of mine who competed against him, Siraj, he did mention that Luke was very, very powerful and very strong.
Do you think...
A leg exchange here. Potential outside heel hook versus inside heel hook.
Do you think sometimes people with Sousuke, you know, like with those really bendy limbs, time and time again, you know, their opponent might go for, you know, say a leg lock, and they're unsuccessful. Do you think that it's playing with fire a little bit as someone like Sousuke, like meet their match where they actually do have that breaking power?
I guess we'll find out, right? But it's one of those settings where I would like to think that if Sousuke needed to tap, he would tap. But you never know with these young guns. And look at that, coming straight to the hip as well. Just missing. Luke being very composed in this manner here.
Luke did recover really well just then. I thought Sousuke was nearly about to pass as he moved around the corner there, but Luke did really well to move his hips just enough to stop that.
For sure. I would say Luke is a very, very high-level purple belt. He's got he has the long femurs and stuff that work very well for the leg locking style. Like as you can see, he sits up and his knees kind of go to his shoulders and trap sort of region. So very hard to breach, and the seated guard being very strong, using his hooks to sit up very effectively.
I always get really surprised with these kinds of guys, right? They've got long legs, long femurs, but somehow they managed the dexterity in their legs to get them back through spaces is amazing. You would think that they would get in the way, but they just constantly bring their legs back through, and they're really hard to pass and those sorts of things. You'd think that it'd be easier because their legs are just a bit longer and, you know.
Yeah, just very skillful. I guess
Yeah.
they're just used to those scenarios at hand.
Yeah.
Now Sasuke looks like he's flattening Luke out now, but it looks like his strategy is to kind of wear him out and then sit back for the leg, which is actually very much similar to his good friend Daiki, who is in his corner right now, who is on the card later.
Do you think we're seeing a lot less of the classic headquarters these days? Because Sasuke's played sort of a headquarters-y vibe here, but not quite going into the classic headquarters.
I
feel like it's
sorry.
on the
Go on.
decline, do you think?
Well, I think it's just very hard against a seeded guy like this because Luke is very, like, when we were strategizing for my guys to fight Luke in the past, he just has this ability to always sit up. And it makes it very hard to kind of camp it within that space there. So you almost want to turn his knees to the side, which is what Sasuke did
because you want
before.
one down and one up. But it looks like Luke's really good at keeping them in that sort of like butterfly positioning where their both knees are turning out
like
and you can't quite straighten one and pin one.
Yeah, that butterfly shin on shin sort of region. He's very good with the 2-on-1s from there too to kind of bring someone forwards and get their head over his head. These two guys, I can't believe 20 and 17, how good they are.
Yeah. Yeah, the level of this jiu-jitsu we're seeing here is actually certainly a very high level purple.
I wasn't even training when I was 17.
Me either.
I was a dropkick at school. But I did finish. And at 20 years old, I definitely wasn't as good as how good Luke is looking right now. It's a similar match to the Sam Ortiz match and the Drake match, just except instead of supine guard, it's seated guard.
Yeah.
Less movement from Sasuke, but more.
Do you think
being more of a
he's
statue.
getting a little bit frustrated with his? Obviously, his style of passing isn't quite working here. He might be needing to change tactics. If you were in Sasuke's position, what kind of passing style would you look to come through Luke's guard here?
Well, to be honest, I would want Luke's knees to face the same direction or the complete opposite, which means that probably either an over-under style or like a leg drag smash pass style, which is kind of where it's leading to now a little.
Yeah. Sasuke just couldn't quite get his knee clear into that hip socket there.
That said, though, Sasuke, I think, is doing a good job from these positions, but I'm surprised that he's not just sitting back on more legs and staying down. He's typically more of a guarder. It's nice to see his skill set evolve playing on top.
Yeah,
today.
but you know what you find quite often is that someone sits into their seated guard and someone who's very obviously a guard player like Luke, and if you're a guard player who often plays top 2, and you're versing someone who's just really good in the guard, often you just end up in this passing position for the whole match. And it's a little bit frustrating because you go, I'm not playing my full A game here because I really do want to sit back. But
it's a bit of a compromise in a sub-only rule format.
That's right.
But yeah, Luke very good with the grip fighting with the hands and then sitting for the underhooks or the legs with the shin-on-shin battle. But Sasuke always kind of leaning forwards into him. They both don't really look tired. I would be very tired if I was Luke sitting up that much.
In this sort of semi-sitting position because he's not quite flat, not quite sitting up. There's a lot of ab work here going on. If you're playing it all the time,
he's got that 12-pack going on.
Yeah, that's just your conditioning, isn't it?
Yeah,
I do wonder if Luke at this point is getting a little bit frustrated at not actually being able to enact his full game. I would be,
considering he knows how good he is as well.
Yeah.
And how much success he would usually get.
Yeah. I'm wondering who might be the first to change their tactic. Given that we're in the last minute here, are they going to stick with what they're doing, or is someone going to change something drastically just to see if they can get something to happen?
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one because it's so evenly matched now. Whoever takes the risk could potentially lose it. I am going to give the slight advantage to Sasuke just because he's kind of reached for Luke's hips and turned his knees to the same direction, while Luke hasn't really been able to do too much. There was a leg entanglement early, but Sasuke kind of just stepped out and attacked his own, and Luke backed away. So, here making Luke use those kicks, I think that plays a favor to the judges for Sasuke pressuring forwards.
Yeah, it's making it look like Luke's having to work really hard now, and Sasuke's still really composed. And Luke's actually sat all the way up here. I think he's going to start looking to do a little bit of a tactic change.
100%, he needs it.
He's going to try and get a bit of a tie-up to get some elevation potentially, look for an underhook.
He's looking like he needs to heist, so he's going to snap the head out and bring his hips out to potentially front headlock.
Yeah.
And then if Sasuke comes forwards, he can butterfly sweep
That's
or
it,
enter the legs.
Sasuke's so good at every time he gets a little bit of elevation, he just drops his weight down, just kind of like a sandbag, you know?
Yeah, like a wet blanket style passing.
Yeah.
It does look very frustrating to deal with, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's very, very composed from on top. Knows exactly what he wants to do and be. There's the heist, and there's the end of the match.
Yeah. Luke looks quite frustrated with that one, but I think both men look a bit confident. Who's to say? Sasuke playing to the crowd a little bit. He's also confident that he got that win. At this point, I think I'll give it to Sasuke since he was.
A difficult one to score, Joe Skiba.
Yeah, look, I was just saying, I think that Sasuke is going to walk away with the win for that one. It looked really frustrating for Luke, especially towards the end. I think that he wanted to be able to show a little bit more, but didn't get to.
No.
Your winner by judges' decision, fighting out of the red corner, Sousuke Oshima!